What is going on, YouTube? Thank you for joining me. Bearded Gamer here. There has been a big update on the Bethesda website for Starfield. The story so far. So basically what they've done is they've given us a timeline of events that lead up to the beginning of the story of Starfield. That way we can get a general idea on what's going on that's leading up to where we're at in the story. So without further ado, we're gonna... I haven't read this yet, I don't know what's going on. We're gonna take a look at this and see what we think. You can find this at bethesda.net/game/Starfield. I will leave a link in the description to this page. Starfield, the story so far. 2050, first humans arrive on Mars. By 2100, humans are living in space. So I guess by that time, going to the moon is like just taking the train. 2156, humans arrive in Alpha Centauri, 4.37 light years away. So it takes 106 years from humans arriving on Mars to getting to Alpha Centauri, which is 4.37 light years away from Earth. I saw some other people talking about how long would it take for us to get from Earth to Alpha Centauri, and I don't know. Are we able to go to Earth in the game? Someone answer that question. I don't know. But from what I do know is that the technology that is used in this game for deep space travel is the warp drive. And I remember Todd Howard explaining that the warp drive essentially folds the universe in half and allows you to travel massive distances very quickly. So I don't think the distance matters that much on when deep space travel was actually achieved. So by 2100, humans are living in space. 56 years later, we have deep space travel. So if I had to guess, I'm going to say that the warp drive was probably invented somewhere in the mid-2040s. Possibly even the early 2150s. Did I say 2040s? The 2140s. Or possibly even the early 2150s. Moving forward, we have 2159. The United Colonies are established. Very cool. 2160. New Atlantis is founded and becomes the official capital city of the United Colonies in 2161. In 2167, Cheyenne is settled by Solomon Coe, who founded its first settlement, Aquila City. Okay. 2188, Coe invites Vali to join Cheyenne in a new alliance, the Free Star Collective. The Free Star Collective is officially formed in 2189. 2194, the United Colonies positions the star station called the Clinic in orbit around Dapala in the Narion system. The unaffiliated peoples of the Narion system see this as a UC attempt to expand their borders and demand the UC remove the Clinic. When the UC refuses, the people of Narion vote to join the Free Star Collective, who mobilize to protect the system in 2195. So we've heard about the war that happened, and I think this might be some of the first steps moving towards that war, where we have the United Colonies positioning their clinic in orbit of Dapala. But why? Why would they do that? Naturally, Narion, they don't like this, so they're like, hey, move your freaking clinic. And the UC is like, nah, we won't. Okay. 2196, 2 years later, in response to Free Star mobilization, the UC moves a fleet into the Narion system, and Free Star responds in kind. The Narion War begins. So this is the Narion War. forget the name of the other war. The Narion War drags on as public sentiment sours. Finally, the Treaty of Narion is signed by the UC and Free Star Collective in 2216, ending the conflict. The term settled systems is formalized in the treaty. 2221, the Free Star Rangers are founded as an elite, protective, and investigative force dedicated to serving all citizens of the Free Star Collective. Moving forward to 2275, that's 54 years later with no events happening. We've had 54 years of the settled systems having peace, for the most part. I don't know if we'll really get down to why the United Colonies positioned their clinic in orbit around Deep Hollow. Were they just trying to give everyone access to the clinic? I don't know. I want to see the good in them. In 2275, Constellation is formed by Sebastian Banks. Original members include Chloe Bao, accomplished physicist, Aja Mamasa, the youngest member and Sebastian's protege, Darius Andrus, botanist and specialist in xenoflora, Bernadette Laurent, wealthy heiress and adventurer, Everardo Gill, former smuggler, and Kadri Toma, biologist and physician. The lodge is built in New Atlantis to serve the needs and people of Constellation for generations to come. So that's 2275. Another 30 years later, 2305, we have Barrett joins Constellation. 2 years after that, the Free Star Collective begins farming on the planet of Vesta in the Lunara system. Before we move forward with that, actually, this makes me wonder, back in 2275, Constellation is formed by Sebastian Banks. I wonder what was the initial reason of forming Constellation? Just to be explorers? Well, it says here, Bernadette Laurent, wealthy heiress and adventurer. So she might be, you know, like a backer, a funder of it, and just likes adventuring. Just wants to see what's out there. Who doesn't want to? So back to 2307. The Free Star Collective begins farming on the planet of Vesta in the Lunara system. By 2308, the United Colonies claims that by establishing a colony in a fourth star system, the Free Star Collective has violated the Treaty of Narion. The diplomatic talks break down, and the UC lays siege to Vesta, killing anyone who stayed behind or was brought in to defend it. The colony war officially begins. So that's 2307. 2307. 2159. That's the United Colony. Where's the Settled Systems? The Settled Systems was founded, let's say, in 2216. And not even 100 years later, when we're getting ready to have a war. By colonizing a fourth star system, the Free Star Collective has violated the Treaty of Narion. Interesting. Okay. 3 years later, 2310, Constellation comes into possession of their first artifact and tucks it away in the Constellation archives. Very interesting. These are what appear to be sentient objects, that the MacGuffins that we're looking for in the storyline. I wonder if Barrett has any connection to these artifacts, because it seems that right after Barrett joins, Constellation says, oh, let's go find these artifacts. But it's not like they knew the artifacts existed, they just happened to come across one. But we'll see where that goes. 2311. After several years of conflict, The Colony War effectively comes to an end with the Battle of Cheyenne as a flotilla of civilian and military Freestar Collective ships takes down the major ships of the UC Navy using hit-and-run tactics. So, like, the rebels win with guerrilla war tactics? That's crazy. Alright. I wouldn't call it a win, you know, just the conflict comes to an end. People don't want to fight anymore, I guess. Fighting is not good. 2315. The UC Vanguard is founded as part of a UC response to the Freestar Collective's use of civilian ships during the Colony War. The Vanguard is the UC's own civilian navy, relying on civilians using their own ships, who pledged to protect the United Colonies and its interests. The ultimate reward for their service: citizenship in the United Colonies. In 2319, Sarah Morgan becomes the youngest head of the UC Navigator Corps, though it's a short-lived position as the division is shut down in 2320. Cast adrift, but still eager to put her training to good use, Morgan joins Constellation. 2321. Walter Stroud, co-owner of Stroud Auckland, one of the Settled Systems' premier starship manufacturers, joins Constellation and becomes its primary financial backer. Former Crimson Fleet pirate Vladimir Saul joins Constellation in 2322, just a year later. 3 years after that, 2325, Sarah Morgan becomes acting chair of Constellation. So it seems here we're getting more and more information about Constellation. It's picking up some speed as an organization. Thalagian Matteo Catri joins Constellation in 2325. The next year, in 2326, Barrett finds the original artifact in the Constellation archives and knows it must be special. Okay, so that completely throws out the thing I was saying where Barrett joins right before they find the first artifact, and maybe he's got some kind of connection to him. But maybe he could have some kind of connection to him because he knows they're special. And I don't know where exactly I heard this. Maybe it was in a trailer, so on and so forth. But I believe I remember hearing that artifacts have spoken to people, have spoken to player characters, or spoken to characters in the game. In 2326, the same year, after months of correspondence with Sarah Morgan, graduate student and gifted scientist Noel is invited to join Constellation. In the next year, 2327, Freestar Ranger Sam Coe and his daughter Cora join Constellation. So it seems like we're just getting a background on when all of these people actually join Constellation. We're going to meet these people and get an idea for how long they've actually been there for. 2328, Andreja joins Constellation. In the next year, in the same year, 2328, Barrett convinces Constellation to purchase Star Station L868 and modify it to become a deep space scanner, nicknamed the Eye. Very interesting, very cool. 2328, and that seems to be it. 2328, the Eye is created. 2330 AD, Starfield begins. I hope you guys are really excited. I know I am. I love Bethesda games. I love open world RPGs. I can't wait. Let's see this again. Yeah, that was really cool. Alright. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, consider subscribing, leave a comment, let me know what are you excited for in the game. Thanks for watching. Peace out.